welcome back to Mod Vegan. My name is Margaret, and today I want to talk with you about veganism and whether it's all right to discuss veganism as if it were a form of a civil rights movement. Today I was looking at the comments on one of my older videos about the Kiwi Cafe in Tbilisi, Georgia. There was an attack on some vegans there, and I made a video about it that was shared by Aysel Mazard on his Abba Laciel channel, which was great because we got a lot more interaction and comments than I might normally get. And it was really interesting to hear from all of you about your perspectives on that issue. And one of the questions that kept popping up over and over again was whether it was acceptable to discuss veganism along with other civil rights movements, to compare veganism, as it were, to things. And this is something we are fairly familiar with. Gary Yourofsky, a very famous vegan who has made a lot of videos on YouTube, Gary Yourofsky frequently compares veganism with the Holocaust, and this has worked out very well for him. And even in places you might not expect, for example, in Israel, they say about 8% of the population in Israel has become vegan mostly because of his videos. So it's obviously working for them there, and it doesn't seem to be upsetting. Well, it may be upsetting Israelis, but it's attracting more people to the message than it is upsetting them. And I think it's an important issue because it doesn't really matter how many people are attracted to veganism through this comparison. We really need to think about whether this is the right thing to do. And it's a big question. I remember when I was back in university, one of my best friends, who is from Israel, saw a PETA video where they were talking about the animal holocaust, and she was very upset because for her, this was something from the time she was very young. She'd been taught that this was a very serious event that you are not supposed to compare to anything else. It's just as it is wrong to call someone you disagree with a Hitler, it's also wrong to discuss anything that you see as upsetting as a Holocaust. But I think this is an area where we get into a lot of confusion at times. If you think about it, it's not a Holocaust for us as vegans, and I think that is the important part to drive home. It's not that we're saying, oh, vegans have it so hard. It's like it's the gay rights movement, or the civil rights movement, or the Holocaust. We are so put upon and it's so horrible for us. That's wrong. And I think no matter how difficult it is for vegans anywhere in the world, it is fundamentally different from those things. I think that we are a minority as vegans, but I think whatever persecution that we face is certainly, I would say that it generally pales in comparison with the other movements that I just mentioned. But that being said, I do think it's also important to remember that it's not us that we're talking about. When you're a vegan, you are giving voice to the animals. We are attempting to be a voice for those voiceless creatures. And so by being a voice, we're trying to let people know what the lives of those animals are in fact like. And in that respect, I think that the comparison is fair. Obviously, it's not that I'm advocating for equal treatment. I want just treatment for animals. And I think what we want to do is we want animals to have rights, the right to life, the right to live in freedom, and to be unencumbered by human preferences and things like that as much as is possible. But that is a bit different from, advocating that they are the exact same as us. We're not so much asking for pigs to have the right to vote as for them to live without being subjected to cruelty, to be treated as objects, because they are in fact sentient beings. So what we're really looking for is that recognition of sentience. And insofar as society as a whole does not recognize the sentience of animals, we are witnessing a holocaust of the animals. And they are the ones that are suffering. I think that vegans need to help the rest of society to understand that it is animals that are suffering. We're not saying that we are suffering. It is the animals that are suffering. One of the happiest experiences of my life has been going vegan. And I think that when you go vegan and you learn to appreciate and respect the rights of other creatures, it's a wonderful thing. And it may be difficult to go to a restaurant and not find your favorite foods on the menu, but that is a minor inconvenience in comparison to what those animals are going through. And I just want to let people know who are concerned about this comparison that I think when vegans are discussing this as a serious issue, as something akin to a civil rights movement or to even the Holocaust, when we're talking about the suffering that animals are going through, we are talking about the animals, not ourselves. And that's an important issue that I hope we don't overlook. So always remember, as a vegan, when you're talking to other people, your concern is for the animals, not yourself. We want to create a great community for vegans where they can get together and work together. And that's something that we want to do. And we're not saying that we are suffering so much, we're saying that the animals are, that we want to bring other people on board to share this message, to get it out there. And the best way to do that is to respect other people, to respect the animals, and to make it clear that you're talking about animal suffering, not your own suffering. Thank you so much. If you liked this video, please subscribe, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and you'll see more videos soon. Thank you very much. Bye.